All right, trimming some jackets here. The collet Dima Proc made me. Works really well. Anybody looking to do this, get in touch with him. I don't know if it'll charge you, but it's worth it. If you want to trim down for heavy bullets, because it's repeatable. Hardly any variants. Most of them are just exact. And yeah, it makes it easy. You don't have to try to, like my old one, I had to little clamp and hold it and, you know, jiggle while you're, this cuts nice and square. Works really well. Start with, it's a starting length going down about 0.950 ish, and yeah, for this you don't have to chop saw it or anything. These are 17 HMRs that were chopped, so to make sure it goes over the pilot, give her a quick chamfer because there's only like 3 thousandths clearance right in here. Now these are annealed, so they're soft and easily imprinted by the cutting blade, so you don't want to jam it or else it'll just spin. If that happens, I mean, you can try to ease into it or whatever. Piece of sandpaper, rub the mouth over it, rounds it, and it'll start cutting again. That's the most reliable way I've found to do it. See, start fast. Let's see. It's starting to spin. Give it a little more tension. Yeah. We're almost done. Let me put it on slow. Finish it up. Yeah, that's done. Doesn't take long at all. 22 Win Mag, you might want to chop it first, but hey, now that it's got, you know, looks like crap. Deburr it. She's ready to go. Call that good. That's about what they've been coming out. I'm fine-tuned it to 1,000. I'm like, more tweaking than is worth it. 1,000s. But yeah, this is working great. Now, I put in a longer adjustment screw, but went a little overboard because the longer ones are hard to find. The ones that come with them are 3/8 of an inch long, and not quite enough adjustment to, you know, really do the gamut. If I want to make it light and heavy and just run that screw back and forth, I got 1 inch, and it's a little bit, it's a lot overkill. But the problem is, if it's adjusted all the way out, and you want to change the handle. If it's flush here, it's pretty close to flush here, or it's at least blocking enough of this handle where you can't twist it off without adjusting that. So 3/4 might fix that. 5/8 would probably have pretty much done what I need and solved that problem. But I called the local fastener shop. They didn't have what I needed. And, I mean, it's what they do. It's in their name, you know. Like, we don't have anything like that. They carry all kinds of fasteners. And they didn't have 3/4. Since they're equally hard to find, I just went with the inch because they will find it. And yeah, 5/8 would have done, I'm thinking. The first place I was able to find anything longer than a ½ inch was McMaster Carr. I didn't want to pay McMaster Carr prices. And then I found them on Amazon. So, just had to buy package 20. But this is not that expensive. Like 10, 11 bucks for 20 of them. Yeah, big deal. I might buy some shorter ones later, but for now, this will work. But yeah, nice square mouth, easy. It holds it beautifully. I mean, even with having to put that, keep cranking down on it, I mean, it's still, good shape. Like I said, these are annealed, so they're softer. So yeah, game changer. The other thing I did was I converted my swage dies to breech lock, so they swap out a whole lot faster. Now, if only the base punches, if I was able to do this, but I'd have to have, as I was saying before the phone decided it was too hot and shut down the video. I converted swage dies to the breech lock, and I just wish there was a similar system for the base punches, but that would have to all be custom made. I think it could be done, but like I said, it'd have to be custom made parts to adapt them. Oh well, because went from a whole lot of pissing off Mr. Arthritis every time to quickly swapping them out. And nice thing is color coded. That helps too. Sharpie on the base punch, color coded. That speeds things up too. But yeah, even so much screwing in the base punch, it still takes moving right along a good 15 seconds to switch it out. And, this is about 2 seconds of it. So I basically cut the time in half, but it could be cut down to fractional. And when you're making one-off pieces, testing things out, and some to back it up, you're just doing one operation, swapping the dies, doing the next until you're done with one and going, okay. It takes a lot of time. Figuring out a few different weights between this and the breech locks on them, I shaved off at least a half an hour. Easily, if not more, just because that much faster and that much faster. I was a little worried because they're aluminum, and the adapter is aluminum too. But I bought the steel ones, the ones with the divot for the pin, like in the Challenger press. They're low profile because these are thick. The others are thin. Figured I want to use my click lock rings. You got to put a washer on here, thickness and all that. But the problem with it is they're really difficult to get out of the adapter. Unless your lock ring is locked right down to it, it sits down in the adapter and there's almost nothing to grip. And if you have a bigger lock ring, you can't get onto it to get it to spin out. So, it doesn't work. So I had to go back to these. And yeah, if I'm going for light bullets, I start to cover up the bleed hole. And that's no good. So I'm using the ones without the set screw, the lock screw. So because when you experiment, you want it to spin, but you don't want it to spin too loosely. these are actually working out. I had a set of them. Just the O-ring friction. It's actually working out. Everything else I want the lock ring. Or the lock screw style. Yeah, if I could have a adapter so that the base bunches went in breech lock style, you know, it would take maybe 5 seconds to swap both of them out and get going. But yeah, that's a whole lot to thread in. That's what? An inch. It's a solid inch of thread. It doesn't really need to be quite that much, but you know, keeps it stable. Sure if I showed you. Okay, you have 2 bases. So about 5 grains or so less capacity. Still up a tip, but like my 62s and a 22 long rifle, that's the trade-off I'm making to make it fit. Big old wide knee pad, but a lot more chance of expansion there, but better ballistic coefficient there. You know, different uses, or you know, and these are actually pretty accurate, so it works out. Do what you got to do. Really, for 62, you got Stinger jackets, you know, Stinger cases. They're that little extra wide or long. Blah. You don't quite get this point, but it approaches it. Looks pretty good. I forget how much longer they are. And 22 long rifle, but yeah, noticeably 50 thousandths or so. I forget. I made one. I can't find it. Right. Put it up here. I was rolling a picture if I find it, or a picture of it. But yeah, it's a much nicer point. But I don't find a lot of Stinger cases, so there's that, you know. Do what I gotta do. Well, I guess that's pretty much it for the update. I figured show you what's happening here, how well this thing's working, and that, yeah, the joy is coming back to experiment with the heavier bullets, where it was just kind of tedious, and I somewhat lost interest. Not all the interest, but you know, procrastination kicks in. I'll get around to it, and this is like, yeah, let me play around with that. I've made up enough to do a little testing, at least a couple groups of each. Well, I'm made up 10 of these, so that's more than I usually do, and they're pretty consistent. Now I'm making up a batch of these. I made up some 69 grainers, which see the difference. 69, 77. So provided I don't go in for knee surgery before I can get around to testing these, you know. Yeah, that's looming. Not looking forward to that. Getting it upgraded from partial to full. Then there'll only be one more to go. I thought I only had one more to go with a partial. Now they got to replace the partial. Got 4 whole years out of it. And it wasn't great, but it was better. So hopefully this will be better. Yeah. Hopefully I have my... It'd be nice to have my hammer barrel back before season's over. It's cooling down prematurely around here. Yeah, okay, that's a whole nother rabbit trail. I'll leave you to that. Have a good one. God bless. See you.